Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. My name is TJ Rockwell. I'm the athletic director at Perry Local Schools. I'm here by myself in Goodwin Theater. It is a Thursday afternoon, but you may be watching this at a different time of day. Thank you for joining us for the 2020-2021 OHSAA parent meeting. We are required by state rule to have one of these meetings with all of our parents at least one time per year. Unfortunately, due to the situation with COVID-19, we cannot meet here in person in Goodwin Theater, so we are going to record this for everybody to watch online. I want to thank Mr. Kellogg for taking the time to be with me today in order to do that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We'll try to get you out of here in 15 minutes or less. That's my goal. But there is some information that we do need you to be aware of as we head into the start of the 2021 school year as far as athletics are concerned. First of all, some thank yous. Our athletes, coaches, and families for taking our COVID-19 protocols so seriously throughout this summer. We are definitely in a unique time, goes without saying, and the protocols that we've had to put in place from the state level and the OHSAA have been many. And I want to commend our student athletes, again, coaches and parents for paying close attention to those and helping us throughout this entire process. I want to thank the Board of Education and our leadership team, Dr. Thompson, for their support of our athletics program, the Perry Boosters for their constant support of our programs as well. We will be selling our Pirate discount cards this year. They are going to be online sales only, so we will not be going door to door. But please consider purchasing a Pirate discount card. They are $20, and all of those funds go back to help our sports teams. So we will have that information out to you here shortly. Look for info on those Pirate cards out soon. Our golf outing, unfortunately, had to be postponed from August 9th, but we have a new date for you already, and that's May 16th. So we're looking forward already to May of 21, where our booster golf outing will take place. Where are we now? It's a question I get asked a lot, and I'll give a brief synopsis of where we're at. Again, this is as of August 13th at 4:30 in the afternoon. Our golf team has started. Both boys and girls have played several matches already. Tennis matches began on August 18th, and so that's next Tuesday. Our first volleyball match is August 21st. Cross country is August 29th. All of those sports are deemed low or no contact, so they've been able to start up. Soccer and football are considered contact sports. Soccer can start on August 21st, football on August 28th. Now, however, we're going to need guidance from the state or the Ohio High School Athletic Association for those things to take place. Unfortunately, Governor DeWine did not have much to say this afternoon in regards to that. So again, we're going to look for continued guidance as we go. Obviously, we're only 8 days away in soccer, 15 days away in football. We hope that information comes to us soon, and we will get that out to you as soon as we have it. We're also going to need guidance in regards to spectators. So for this year, I can promise you that we will be limited as far as spectators go. It is our hope that we are allowed to have some spectators at events, so at least parents can come and watch their student athlete participate. Again, we just don't know at this time what that's going to look like. So we're going to ask for everybody's patience as we work through those protocols as we get them. And we've worked with the Chagrin Valley Conference on talking about preliminary ideas on what attendance would look like, again, once we get guidance from the state, and we'll get that out to you as soon as possible. That said, our goal will be to live stream as many events as we can here in the fall, both home and away. Mr. Kellogg, Mrs. Moskowitz, and I have been in communication this summer, and we've talked about the process of what it would look like to, again, stream as many events as possible. So we will work hard to bring those to you online if we cannot be there in person. Unfortunately, our Meet the Pirates and Bonfire has been canceled. That date was August 27th. It was a Thursday evening. We are looking at alternative ways to have the event sometime this month to honor our fall student athletes. Again, more information will be coming forth on how we're going to do that. All right, so again, this is required by the OHSAA. I'm going to move through these hopefully fairly quickly. Why interscholastic athletics and OHSA beliefs. The OHSA believes that the athletics will complement your school experience and fosters a sense of community, teaches lifelong lessons, hard work, teamwork, citizenship, and discipline, promotes a healthy lifetime appreciation for sports and healthy lifestyles. Now, I will tell you, I'm a firm believer in the life lessons that sports and athletics can teach us, and that's why we do what we do. It's not all about winning or losing. It's about the experience that our student athletes have with their team and what they're going to learn from being part of a team, and those lifelong lessons do pay off in the end. So that's just part of our belief as well. The next slide here, moving on, participants in interscholastic athletics should engage in a well-rounded experience that includes participation in a multitude of extracurricular activities. We wholeheartedly believe that. We are a smaller school district. We need multiple sport athletes. We need kids to be active in things outside of sports as well. So we definitely encourage that. In interscholastic athletics, student academic achievement and success takes priority over athletic achievement. Without a doubt, that's why we call our student athletes first and foremost. Last but not least, participation in interscholastic athletics programs is a privilege and not a right. All right, moving on to some basic rules and regs from the OHSAA that everybody should be aware of. We'll run through these as well. Our eligibility rules exist to help maintain competitive balance in school sports, promote the purpose of education-based athletics. And we tell our student athletes all the time, you are primarily responsible for your compliance as far as eligibility goes. Besides OHSAA regs, your school has the authority to establish additional academic standards and codes of conduct. We'll talk about those here momentarily. All right, OHSAA scholarship standards. We'll start with our high school because I know we're going to have middle school and high school parents watching this video. All incoming ninth graders must have received passing grades in a minimum of 4 subjects immediately preceding grading period. Now, we're in a unique situation right now because of this pandemic. We did not have the last 9 weeks of the school year from March on. So for this fall, all of our students, grades 7 through 12, have received, they are academically eligible to participate. We will start, as we start the school year back here on August 24th, the 9 weeks will start then, and we will do a grade check sometime in the middle of October, and that's when our grades will be used for the winter season. So again, right now, all of our athletes are academically eligible for the fall season until we check grades in mid-October. So to maintain that eligibility that they currently have, high school students must have received passing grades in a minimum of 5 one-credit courses, which for us at Perry is 2.5 due to our block scheduling. So the other piece here at Perry, all athletes must have above a 2.0 or higher, and received no failing grades, no Fs in the preceding grading period. So when those grades come out mid-October for our 9 weeks, we're going to want to make sure that we're above a 2.0 and we have no Fs in order to maintain our eligibility for the rest of the fall season from mid-October on and into the winter season as well. All right, so that is our high school eligibility report. As far as our middle school, all incoming 7th graders, just like everybody else, are eligible so far as scholarship by, they're eligible because this is their first time participating in middle school or high school athletics, obviously, so they're good to go. Same thing, along the same lines, 7th and 8th grade students must have received passing grades, minimum of 4 classes in the preceding grading period. Again, they're immune to that for right now. We'll check their grades, again, mid-October. It's the same thing as the high school, and they must have a 2.0 GPA or above and received no more than 1 F in this grading period. So a little bit different at the middle school. You can have 1 F and still be eligible, but you cannot have more than 1 F as far as middle school eligibility is concerned. Okay, let's talk a little bit about College Credit Plus because we do have a lot of students here at the high school that do that. It's a great program, and it's something that we have to still monitor, though, from the athletic side of things. So they must comply with the OHSA scholarship standards. Mrs. Soren will mail out a green form. For those of you who've had the College Credit Plus courses before, you are very familiar with our form, and we will send those out. They are also available online. Anybody that is not attending Perry schools, whether it's online, home educated, online courses through Perry High School, which is now an option this year, you are still eligible to participate in athletics here at Perry High School. If you have any questions regarding that, please contact me directly via email, and I'll get right back to you if anybody has questions on how that's going to work. That is definitely something new this year as far as online schooling is concerned through Perry High School. Just one other note on the scholarship side of things. Semester and yearly grades have no effect on OHSAA eligibility. So whatever happens at the end of the semester and end of the year, it does not matter as far as eligibility goes. Only 9-week grades determine eligibility. All right, moving on. Another note, summer school grades, College Credit Plus, other educational options cannot be used to alter a grade or to bring a student back into compliance with OHSAA bylaws. So once the grade is entered by the teacher and finalized, we cannot use summer school or any other modes to get that grade changed and make you eligible once again. As far as non-school teams and programs, out of season standards, again, we're just trying to highlight some of the things that come up year to year. You will be ineligible if you're a member of a school team competing on a non-school team. So junior Olympic volleyball, AAU basketball, club sports and wrestling or soccer are common examples. So you're ineligible in the same, if you compete for a non-school team in the same sport during your team season. The example they use here is club soccer team during the school soccer season. You will be ineligible. So you cannot compete for a club team in your season. It has to be out of season experiences and competitions for that club team only. Coaches in schools cannot require you participate in an open gym or an open facility. Violations, of course, will be resulting in penalties. So only thing that we can mandate is really when the official start of the practice season, whether that's August 1 for fall sports, various dates in winter and spring based on your sport. We cannot make anything mandatory prior to that date. All right, as far as transfer standards go, and again, just highlighting this a little bit. Once eligibility has been established at a member school, a transfer to a different school may mean you could lose eligibility for sports for a period of time at your new school. Contact me again with any questions. The OHSAA website is listed there as well for your reference. Any transfer questions, whether coming into the school or leaving the school, please let me know and I'll help you out to the best of my abilities. And we'll even contact OHSAA if we need to. Because as they mentioned here, there's several exceptions to these rules that they have. It's a complicated process, so please contact me with any questions. Should you have transferred to Perry, you must ensure that all the paperwork has been submitted to OHSAA and that the state office has granted approval for eligibility. So any new student, will get notified in final forms that the students transferred in. It's the parents and the student athlete's responsibility to make sure those forms are to us, and then we can submit them to the OHSAA for approval. Let's see, moving on. Health and safety. All right, that's obviously a very popular topic nowadays, and so we'll address that at this point in time. Prior to your season's first practice, you have to have a physical, and you have to have that turned in to Mrs. Owens in the athletic office or to your coach, and then they'll turn it into her, and it'll be filed appropriately. One new thing within the last year or so, physicals are now valid for 13 months from the date of the exam. It used to be 12 months. Final forms will send out a reminder starting 60 days prior to its expiration. So final forms will send you an email, send the athlete an email, reminding them that their physical is coming due and you need to get a new one. I can't stress that enough with all of the health concerns that we're dealing with here on a daily basis, we need to make sure the physicals are done correctly and turned in on time. And we also have to make sure that all of the forms in Final Forms are turned in and signed appropriately. So that was a process we've been working through here for our fall sports for the last few weeks. Moving forward into winter and spring, we're going to want to make sure that those are done in advance so we do not have to hold out your student athlete from participating because Final Forms are not complete or the physical is not turned in. Any questions on Final Forms, please don't hesitate to contact myself or Mrs. Ovens in the athletic office. She's an expert at Final Forms. She will walk you through everything that you need to do as far as Final Forms go. All right, moving on to concussions. Again, extremely important for everyone to recognize the potential dangers associated with concussions and review their responsibilities in protecting our student athletes. It's not just a football issue. It can happen anywhere in any sport, and so we've got to be on top of it. Megan, our trainer, does an excellent job working with all of our kids and working to establish a baseline test. We've done that with all of our fall athletes so far, and we'll continue to do that here as we work into our other seasons as well. Keeping on with concussions, just so everybody's aware, because we don't want to deal with upset parents as to why a student athlete was pulled out of a contest, but please understand, any athlete exhibiting signs, symptoms, or behaviors consistent with concussion are going to be immediately pulled from that contest, and they cannot return that evening. They're going to need to have written authorization from a medical doctor to return to practice, and there's protocols involved with that. Again, if this happens, we'll be in touch with you. Megan will be in touch with you, and we'll make sure that your student athlete is cared for in the proper way and will not be able to return until they are healthy and able to do so. Again, that written permission from a doctor will be needed. All right, sudden cardiac arrest. There's videos out there that you guys have to watch through our Final Forms that you sign off on. Sudden cardiac arrest is the most common cause of death among student athletes. Dizziness, loss of breath, racing heart are symptoms. Participants, parents, again, you guys have to watch that video prior to signing off on that Final Form. So please take a look at that. It's something that we all need to be aware of. And again, we will take those symptoms very seriously as well. And we work with Megan and with Lake Health on all of those things. So we're moving on to additional health and safety guidelines. The OHSAA and Perry High School do not permit the use of any alcohol, tobacco, including electronic cigarettes or illegal drugs. Besides the illegal things involved, these items will result in students being disqualified from contests and violators likely facing additional school and legal penalties. We will talk about that in a minute here as we reach our handbook. Sporting behavior, pretty straightforward. Respect the game is something that the OHSAA has been pushing for quite a long period of time, and rightly so. The community of Perry, our administrators, officials, coaches, students, parents, fans, strive for positive sporting behavior at all events. And believe me, guys, I know officials make bad calls. I'm here to tell you first and foremost, it happens in every match game that I've ever been involved with at the high school level anyway. It's going to happen again this coming year. We have to deal with it the right way. We can mumble under our breath, or we can talk to our people sitting next to us how bad of a call it was, but we're not going to berate officials. We're not going to, yell at the other team's players or anything like that. So whether you're a parent, a student, we're going to look to represent Perry in a positive way. So as a student athlete, again, they're looking for you to respect the game. Treat opponents, coaches, and officials with respect, and ensure your actions do not incite fans or other participants to embarrass, ridicule, or demean others. That's the underlying idea of the Respect the Game campaign is right there. All right, as we reach our portion of the evening where we're going to talk about parent and student handbook, the athletic handbook, first of all is this disclaimer. Due to the outbreak of coronavirus, COVID-19, schools are now faced with more challenges than ever before. And essentially what this disclaimer does is give us, as the Perry School District, we're going to need to adjust and adapt to meet all of these changes. Some of the rules that we've outlined in our handbook are going to have to be adjusted based on what rules the government provides to us, how many people can be on a bus. We may have to have students ride with parents to and from events, just as an example. We don't know at this time what that's exactly going to look like, but that's just an example of something where we're going to have to adjust things as they come up. And it's going to be strictly in accordance with Ohio and the Lake County Health Departments, what they're telling us to do. We will follow them to the nth degree of whatever they tell us to do, we're going to follow. And so we may have to adapt some of our athletic handbook policies based on those recommendations. So again, we will notify you as soon as we have those, and we will always communicate with our teams. If there's an issue, if there is a COVID-19 issue with a player, a staff member within your son or daughter's program, you will be notified via email. It'll probably be a Final Forms email. It'll be coming from myself or Mr. Porcello, and it will contain all the information that you need. And as always, we are always available for conversations, whether it's via email or a phone call, if you have them regarding a COVID-19 situation within our athletic department. All right, as we move on to the Athletic Code of Conduct, quick notes. We're in effect 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It does not stop over the summer or when we're on winter break or spring break. It's a 24-hour day, 7-day a week, 365-day policy. So please realize that. Sometimes that's a problem. We do have a self-referral policy for possession of or use of drugs, alcohol, and tobacco. We tell our student athletes all the time, we try to at our team meetings, that we have this policy. We know the peer pressure is sometimes great out there, and we want to allow our student athletes to come forward if they made a mistake. So whether they want to talk to their coach, to myself, to a guidance counselor, to a principal, assistant principal, to a teacher, it does not matter who they speak with. But if they come forward and say, hey, I made a mistake, I did X over the weekend, there is essentially a one-time pass where you will not have to sit out any athletic events for your transgression there. So again, we're looking for students to come forward and be open and honest with the mistakes that they've made. We know that they're young men and women, and they are going to make these mistakes, so we want to at least offer them the opportunity to come forward first. If they don't come forward, these are some of the things that we have to deal with from time to time. Our first offense, if, again, drugs, alcohol, tobacco, e-cigarettes, vaping, they're all one and the same, mainly because we don't know what is in a vape pen or an e-cigarette. It can be anything and everything, and we're going to treat it that way. Our first offense is you're suspended for 30% of the scheduled events for which the student and the team participates. Second offense is you're suspended for an entire year, 365 days from the date of the offense. There is an opportunity for that penalty to be reduced down to 60% of your season with proof of professional assistance and drug testing. And really, it's a 3 strikes and you're out policy. On the third offense, you are done participating for the Perry Athletic Department in any sport. As we said earlier in this presentation, this is a privilege and not a right to participate for your middle school or your high school here in Perry. So we want to treat it as such in 3 strikes, and you will be done as far as that goes. All right. Really, the athletic handbook is 30-some pages. I would definitely recommend taking a look at the drug, alcohol, and tobacco policy. And then really the last 4 pages of the document, probably the most 4 important pages in it, and I'm going to go over some of those now here. Parent and coach communication, succeeding together. Again, we know that being a coach and being a parent are difficult jobs, all right? We want to think that our parents are professionals and that our coaches are professionals. So we want everybody to work together. We expect a lot from our coaches. We want there to be communication. We want their communication to be 2-way. So some of the things you can expect from your son or daughter's coach, the philosophy of their program, the expectations that the coach has for your son or daughter, locations and times of all practices and games. Again, this fall may be worse than most springs as far as scheduling goes. Based on things that are so unknown even at this time, we may be having last minute adjustments to our schedule. So I apologize in advance for that, and I appreciate the flexibility that you're going to give us to find as many games for your son and your daughter's teams to play. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that they have as full of a season as possible. Again, given the guidance of the state and the county health departments, we'll follow those and we'll play accordingly. But again, there's going to be some changes coming up here as far as schedules go. So bear with us when it comes to that, please. And then any procedure that your child, if she or she is injured, what the procedure will be. What we can expect from you, or what coaches can at least, concerns expressed directly to the coach. Notification of any scheduling conflicts that your son or daughter may have, and any concern regarding a coach's philosophy or expectations. We will certainly talk about those. Things we won't talk about with parents, though, are, appropriate concerns to discuss with coaches are the treatment of your child, mentally and physically, obviously very important, ways to help your son or daughter improve, and any concerns that the coach may have about your son or daughter's behavior. Issues we're not going to discuss are playing time, strategy, play calling, and certainly other student athletes. So again, we want the communication to be open, to be two-way. We're looking for feedback, positive, negative, or indifferent. We're always looking for feedback and ways to make our program stronger across the board. So I always urge parents to talk to coaches, to communicate with them. And then if that's not working and we need to take the next step, then please contact me. And that's what's on our screen here now, is if your communication with the coach is sort of broken down and you don't have a resolution to the problem, please reach out to myself, to Ryan Zalatel at the middle school, and we'll set up a meeting and hopefully hash things out and at least try to find a solution to the problem. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, that will pretty much wrap up our presentation here for this evening. I apologize, a little longer than I wanted to go, but there is so much information out there. And again, as of the taping of this on August 13th, we have a lot of information that we just don't know about yet. And so we hope to have that very soon. Be on the lookout. As soon as we have that information, we will get it out to everybody as far as what we're going to be looking at as far as spectators for the year, fans at events, and all of those things. Hopefully our governor will come out and give us some guidance on that early next week. And again, we'll pass that on to you as soon as we do. I want to thank everybody again for taking the time to watch this video. And we're looking forward, as crazy as it's been all summer and as crazy as this entire process has been since March, we in the athletic department are looking so forward to getting our kids back into school and competing for the Perry Pirates. That's what we do. That's what we love. And we're looking forward to hopefully a full fall season. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day, and go Pirates.